go live. There we go. Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. Sorry about the delay. It's rock and roll all the way, isn't it, Brian?
Certainly is.
Before we start, good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, wherever you may be in the world. Before we continue, can one of you just give me a indication as to, can you hear us okay? Can you hear us? Can you see us? Everything good? And we'll just wait for your answer.
So funny being so backward, that is.
Yeah. Let's just see.
There's nobody listening.
There we go. Hear you fine. Thank you, Conrad. Yes, we can hear you. Hello. Hi, everyone. Yes. Okay, great. Apologies for the delay. Bitten off more than we can chew, as usual, Brian, haven't we?
Certainly have.
This is the face of a man who doesn't sleep, doesn't eat. He's just a workaholic, and he's just celebrated his birthday. Was it
Thursday?
Thursday, yeah.
Yeah. Thursday, I don't know. Wow, life is so busy. Oh my God, so much to do.
Anyway, Brian, here's a beer. Have a sip.
I've got to have a beer, folks.
And I want to propose a toast to everyone, wherever you may be in the world. And I want to thank you, as always, for supporting
thank you.
This channel and supporting what Brian and I do together. Okay, so we're really here. It's not going to be a long one, this. We're just going to talk about the Depeche Mode book, which is about to be read. Well, we'll get into that in a moment. But before we do that, just want Brian to catch his breath and just tell us what's happened. It's been your birthday, Brian, and we have to take one thing at a time.
Absolutely.
Do you want me to hold that?
It's my birthday, and I really had a great birthday, and thank you for anybody who sent me messages. I hopefully replied to everyone. I think I replied to 1,000 reactions from on Facebook alone. It was incredible. It's not as it's more. I've signed more though there. I mean, I've signed 400 posters. I've signed 750 books, but over a period of time. And this was just over one day, really. I did tick to everyone, say thank you so much for giving me your love on my birthday.
There's a message that's popped up here from Alan Wilder. Hello, Alan Wilder. Haha. He says he misses Brian's sunglasses. No, not rock and roll today, Brian.
I haven't had time to get my sunglasses. Oh shit! I'm sorry about that, Alan. Do you prefer me in sunglasses? Do you think I should go out and get them and come back again?
I had people sometimes saying they prefer you without the sunglasses because they can see your eyes. Anyway, it's rock and roll. You can't.
It's rock and roll, yeah.
Anyway, Brian, before we jump into today's news, also tell us as much as you want to say about your exciting new. You've been made an ambassador.
Oh, of a watch, yeah, ambassador of a watch. I mean, it's been in the offering. What's the right word for that? Offering.
It's been in the pipeline.
In the pipeline, most of this year really, and it's come to fruition now. And I'd like to thank Horage, who are the watch company, and Landon Sterling, who is the man in charge of this venture. It will be very exciting. I become sort of an ambassador or partner, whatever, in a Swiss watch for photographers. That is, a Swiss watch for photographers. It's an amazing watch, and I'm very proud to be part of the whole project, really, which will hopefully is going to last for the next 3 years. So I'm going to Switzerland tomorrow, and I've got plenty to do. As Vaughn mentioned briefly earlier, we're going to launch our Depeche Mode book, which is in May, beginning of May, from the beginning of May, and then I've got the watch, and I've got exhibitions in London. I've got 3 exhibitions. Oh my God, I've got so much to do, and it's gonna take all my energy, really. So please forgive me for lacking a bit of energy today. I'm just a little bit tired, that's all.
No apology needed, Brian. Okay, well, let's. You've explained that nicely. So excited about the watch, and I believe your name gets engraved on the back of it.
Yeah, it's engraved on the back of the watch. There are 100. There are 100. It's called the Lensman 2 actually, and I've got my name engraved on the back, and each watch will be numbered, and there will be 100 of them. I hope it'll be quite a success, really. It's a very beautiful watch, and I'm really proud to have my name on the back of it. Really proud, actually. When you see it, it's quite something, actually, which the engineers and the people of Orage have put together. I'm very excited about it, and that will be launched in... Well, it'll be launched... the pre-sales will be launched in May. And then in the autumn, the watches will go out to all the people that have purchased the watch.
That's brilliant. Well, guys, you can catch up with all the information here on the Vaughn George YouTube channel. Right, so the big news, Brian. If you were watching the live stream we released probably about 3 weeks ago, Brian and I came on and we mentioned that we mentioned the release of a Depeche Mode photographic book. Now, I have to stress, this is not an official Depeche Mode thing. What I mean by that is, you know, it doesn't mean it's dodgy or anything like that. It just means that we are self-releasing this, and basically, the book is called
Mode.
The book is called Mode, and it is a complete photographic book of all of Brian Griffin's work regarding his time with Depeche Mode. So, if you can, just for a bit of history for those of you who don't know, I'm sure most of you know the story, but Brian was, well, I can say officially, the first sort of photographer who photographed Depeche Mode sort of from 1980 up until 1986. Brian obviously did all 5 album covers. He did Spick and Spell, A Broken Frame, Construction Time Again, Some Great Reward, and Black Celebration. God, I'm so well rehearsed at this, aren't I? And so obviously those 5 iconic album covers, those first 5 iconic album covers were done by Brian Griffin. Brian also got to photograph the band. Not much, unfortunately, mainly just up until 1982. There were a few photos, and of course the album cover for the single People Are People. So really what I, as a fan, wanted to see was, Brian has released so many books and so many, he's photographed, he's, you know, arguably one of the most influential photographers, you know, of our generation, and he's obviously released books where he's mentioned Depeche Mode before, but as a fan, I wanted to see something. I wanted a book that was exclusively focused on Depeche Mode and was almost like the official unabridged, you know, the full, every photo that Brian took of Depeche Mode. Now, the whole idea with this book, as we spoke last time, was you're going to see all the photos in there that you're familiar with, and those will include the album covers. They will also include a lot of behind the scenes stuff. But what makes this book so fascinating is you will see some original scans of the transparencies and negatives, and I can guarantee you there are images where my jaw dropped, because just as I thought I'd seen most of them, for instance, I'm thinking of the photo of the man in the Matterhorn. There are photos where you can actually see his face. There are reverse shots of him from a different angle. So if you're a Depeche Mode fan, you're going to really be able to geek out about this book. And we've spent a lot of time, well, Brian especially, obviously. Brian has spent a lot of time. We want to make a special shout out to Simon Helm, who has helped us with the book as well. So we're going to give you as much information as what we can, but bearing in mind, as I said last time, this is a group effort. Now, what I mean by that is, this is not a typical book where we get a publisher, we get funding, and we just put the book out and you buy it. It's nothing like that at all. This is going to be a crowdfunder, like Brian has done his previous books, as I've done my previous albums, as we've done with Gareth Jones's Electrogenetic album. We've had a lot of success with that, thanks to you, the community. So really what's going to be happening now is the crowdfunder, the official crowdfunder for this Depeche Mode, well, this photographic book by Brian Griffin of Depeche Mode, will start from May the 1st. We're going to run it from May the 1st till the end of May. So it's a short, focused 30-day campaign. And it is a Kickstarter campaign, so it will mean that if we can raise the funds, the book will go ahead. If we do not raise the funds, we won't. So it's an all or nothing. So it's up to you. One of the most important things to Brian and to me as a fan was that we make this book as accessible as we did the poster print business. I liked to call it poster prints for the masses, if you excuse the term, but we wanted this to be accessible. It's not going to be expensive. And can we announce the price now?
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
We can. Okay. So the price of this book, which I feel is perfectly reasonable, and I'm saying this does not come as a stab in the dark.
It's a hardback book.
It's a hardback book. We've done extensive research. There's a lot of love that's going to go into this. We are a cottage industry. When you get one of these books, every copy will be signed by Brian Griffin personally. It will be handled by Brian and I. There are no publishers. There are no third parties. We are handling everything. So it's quite an ambitious project. And with your help, we can make this happen. And the price we're looking at is £35 per book. We feel that that is perfectly reasonable within the market. It's not out of touch with, you know, it's not one of these expensive, ridiculously priced books, but we feel that that is the price we need to charge for the quality that we're going to give here. And I can guarantee you we are working with the best designers, the best printers. You're going to have a piece of history in your hand. Once again, repeating myself, I as a fan wanted something that you, a fellow Depeche Mode fan, could pick up. And let's say if you wanted to teach someone about Depeche Mode and Brian Griffin, you could just give it to them and they would have everything in this book. Have I...
I think you've covered most of it. I'm just trying
yeah.
to think of anything else you haven't covered. No. I think you've covered everything.
Well, the main thing is
I
really...
thought of something earlier, but I've lost it now.
Sorry if I'm talking over you, but the main thing really that you can take away from this, and we'll take a few questions because this is not going to be a long live stream. Brian's got to have his dinner.
I've ate my dinner. Go on.
It's going to be a 30-day crowdfunder. We're going to start it at the beginning of May. The book is simply called Mode. It's going to have a beautiful... Do we disclose that?
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to have a beautiful cover. Now, this was also difficult because a lot of Brian's covers are very iconic. You know, we had to decide, and Brian said to me, you know, you're a fan, what do you want to see on the cover? So we went through a lot of back and fro. Then we thought a Broken Frame's your most iconic album cover. We thought, okay, but then we thought that would be too obvious. Then we thought, oh, Spick and Spell. Then I thought, oh no, Construction Time. Then I thought, oh my God, I love them all. But I think Brian was the one that decided, and I just thought it's a no-brainer. The cover will be the black and white photo of a broken... No, sorry. Black Celebration.
Yeah,
I'm doing quite well with that edit here. Yeah, the cover will be a beautiful jet black colour of print of Black Celebration. The actual specifics on the book at the moment, it will be approximately between 120 and maybe 140 pages. That is not... we can't give you certainty, of course, because that's going to depend on the design and the layout. We're looking at a size of 31 by 31.
31 by 31.
Which is basically so it'll be the same size as an album cover.
Yeah.
So we wanted a square book, and we've put a lot of thought into this, and Brian has put a lot of hours into, you know, writing it, and, you know, it was a hell of a job sitting there with all the transparencies. And I was like a fanboy because he was just pulling these transparencies, and I was like, oh my God, I've never seen this before, Brian. He was like, haven't you? I was like, no, of course not. Can we put this in the book? So
no, it'll go to... We want to make it so everyone can afford it. I mean, it's a lot of time, a lot of effort that goes into doing this. A lot of effort from me, monitoring everything, saying okay about everything, making sure the quality is absolutely tremendous. I want the best printing. Like, everything about it will be immaculate. The paper will be of a thickness I really like. The front cover, the total binding of the book will be thick as I'd like it, and a real hardback cover. And as Vaughn said, 31 centimetres square. It'll be a lovely square book that we can open. And it's a book of love. And of course we've got some people that have helped us tremendously on it. Like Simon Helm has helped me immensely by interviewing me, and that which will be the core of the book was my interview with Simon Helm, which I have to thank him for, and his kindness and his interest shown in this project. And also we have Gareth Jones, who's actually written a wonderful preface for the book. I'd like to thank Gareth. So these are people actually, people that are part of us all. We're a team, we're a family. This book is for the family.
Yeah, as we say, there's no publishers or third parties, and I've just randomly pulled out a vinyl, and this is happens to be Violator, which is not one of yours, but just want to say this is obviously the physical size of the book, and I just think
it's a beautiful size.
We actually we chopped and changed, because we started with 25 by 25, then we went we went rectangular, but then I think it was this morning we decided
absolutely
that a nice the size of a vinyl cover. So that's really all you need to know, my friends, is as from the 1st of May we will start the crowdfunder. It'll go live. You will get all the information here and on Brian's social media. And we just ask you to, if you're interested in this, get behind it. As I say, it just seemed like a no-brainer. I was like, Brian, why have you never released a Depeche Mode book?
I know, it was your idea, and we were doing it. I mean, literally, what I was going to say to you, no images are missing from this book. There are most of the variation. Okay, they're not every single film, but they're elements from every film that I took for Depeche Mode, that went through my camera. And there are the days of analog photography, the days prior to digital photography. So it was due to how good you were, really, how good the pictures were. And I've scoured through the whole history, and everything you will see, everything in that book that I have, you've got the whole lot. You'll go away with this book, and that will be it.
Okay, great. Now that's Brian. Let's just take some questions here. I saw a question come up here. Sorry, the questions are coming up quite fast, so I apologize. Oh yeah, there we go. Blue Pearl Girl says, "Are you sending these out to the USA?" Guys, the USA is one of our biggest markets, so we will. This book will be sent anywhere in the world where you live. It'll be sent to you. Now, obviously, the postage is not free. As I say, the price of the book is £35, and that excludes postage. Now, it will be a Kickstarter, so there will be tiers where you can buy the book, and then there'll be another tier where you can buy the book and some poster prints. So we're making it as straightforward and as economical for you as what we possibly can, without having to compromise on any quality. We take some more questions. So I just want to clarify that there's a question that comes up here that says, how do we order one? So once again, it will be exclusively through the Kickstarter campaign. And once again, there is no publisher on board. I'm acting as the sort of publisher, I suppose. I'm doing all the shipping, but Brian and I are doing this all ourselves. So we'd love you to get behind this cottage industry operation. I'll take a few more questions. If it goes well with the crowdfunder, when might it be printed up? Good question. We didn't want to rush this. And full disclosure, because I don't want to bullshit anyone here. We did this idea of a Depeche Mode book. I sort of at Brian's coffee table. I mentioned this, and we did decide that the best time to release it would be at the time of a Depeche Mode tour and a Depeche Mode album. Full disclosure, we're riding the wave, I suppose. But I mean, I'm being honest about that.
It will be. When will we
publish? Yes. Well, okay. So crowdfunder ends at the end of May, and hopefully we'll get the funding. If we get all the funding, let's be positive. Once we get all the funding, it will then go to design. The printing could take up to 6 weeks.
Yeah, it'll probably be ready sometime in. I'm basing it on being ready in September. We'll start mailing the books out during the month of September. That is what's our aim. So everyone will get their book for Christmas wherever they might live. If they live in Africa, or they live in America, or Chile, or anywhere in the world, they will get their books. Plenty of time for Christmas. And secondly, I've just lost it. No, carry on, Vaughn.
No, just say we are really. a lot of work has gone into this, a lot of thought's gone into this, and especially on Brian's side, as you can see, the poor guy's exhausted. But hey man, when you're proud of something, you love it, you want it done properly. We do have tiers in place where if you buy, we haven't got the names of the tiers yet, but I wanted something that you could share with your friends. So for instance, if you wanted to buy a book, but you wanted to buy one for your relative or a best friend of yours, there are tiers on here where you can have a discount by buying two. So, one for you, one for your friend.
That's what I thought of, was the fact that the book will increase in price after Kickstarter. It will be a small increase, but it will be more expensive to buy the book after the Kickstarter campaign. So it's essential or best that you actually buy the book during the campaign.
With all crowdfunding campaigns, as we've done with my vinyl and Brian's done with his books and stuff before, it is important that you show respect to the people who are actually supporting you. So just to elaborate on what Brian said, was obviously the price will be £35, but and of course you pledging will get yours first, and then there will be some printed beyond that as well, just a small amount, and those will be sold to people who who obviously missed out, but they will be more expensive, not substantially more, but they will. But also, if you look at the tiers with there's some great offers on poster prints and stuff. They are substantially more affordable than what you could do it, but we are trying to make it really accessible for you guys during this. And what are the names?
Yes, we must, every single one of you, or every single person that actually subscribes or pledges for this book, their name will be inserted in the back of this book. Whether it's 100, 10,000, 20,000 people, we will put every single name of every person in this book to say thank you for pledging for the Depeche Mode book.
Yeah, and I just think as a fan, it's I'm very excited about this just because there's nothing else like this, and I mean, it
would be the end end of me.
And
really.
I mean, and I'll be honest, full disclosure once again, I'm an honest guy. When the idea came into my head was when, and it's not a competition, but where I got the idea from was when Anton released his photographic book, I think 3 years ago. That's where I got the idea, and I looked at it and I went, hang on here, I would like to see a Brian Griffin book, as well. So this kind of completes the circle, I think. Let's take a few more questions. Can't wait. This will deserve a launch party. Yes, Allegra, thank you very much. There will definitely be a launch party. We're looking at doing a... because often when Brian releases a book, we usually do a book signing party. But because your book will be already signed, we'd like to have a launch party still. And I'm not going to give you any more information, but your book will already be signed. But you could always come to the party, bring your book along, and Brian can leave maybe put a kiss in it or something.
Yeah, of course.
Whatever. Is that Cheslaw?
Yeah.
Ches is here. Hello, Ches.
How you doing, Ches? You okay, man?
Everything. What's it like in Scotland?
Cold.
Just want to take a few more questions, guys. We're not going to be long. Brian's got to go cook his
dinner. Are you sending what? What did you say?
Where?
Are you? Anyway, it's gone now.
That was the question. Are you sending to America?
Yeah.
Once again, but this will be sent anywhere in the world, guys. Anywhere you live, we will send it. Brian will deliver it in person.
Even to Scotland.
Yeah, even to Scotland. Yeah.
For Cheslaw, we'll send one for you, darling.
Okay, so guys, you got any more questions? We'll take questions for another 5 minutes or so, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Are you going to put the crowdfunding link somewhere, and when? Okay. Once again, this is just a preliminary video to warn you, because it doesn't make sense for us to pop up and say, "Hey, crowdfunders here today." What's today? Is today the 16th of April or the 15th? Okay, we're halfway through April at the moment, so we've got 2 weeks' time. The crowdfunder will start so there's no pre-orders or anything like that. The crowdfunder will start at the 1st of May and will run its course till the end of May. There we go. Cheslaw says, this book will be like another treasure. Yes, it's me. Yes, of course it's you, Ches. Of course. Who else could it be? So any more questions, guys? Just keep them coming, and we'll answer them before we're going to go. What are you cooking for dinner tonight, Brian?
Fish.
Fish. Okay, that's...
Potatoes, green beans. I always have my fish once a week. It's good for your fish.
Omega 3s. He has a question from Carlos Mode. Hi, Carlos. He says, if we participate on the crowdfunder, could the money be used towards the purchase of the book?
What's it mean?
I just want to clarify, and that's a very. I'm glad you asked that question, because I just want to put to rest any misunderstandings here. I had these questions as well when I did my crowdfunder. When you pledge, you are not pledging to help us print the book. Of course you are. When you're pledging, you're actually buying a copy. So when you go onto
and postage.
So if you pay your £35 plus your postage. So when you pledge, you are buying a book. I hope that's clear. You're not pledging and then having to buy a book as well. Your pledge gets you a book, if that makes sense. And there will be different tiers, and I think there's something I don't want to give away too much, because we haven't decided on all the tiers. But I think there is value in me saying this as well. I, as a fan, of Brian, and he's a dear friend, I think he's obviously done some of the most outstanding album covers. And I thought, Brian thought, everything Brian does, he thinks hard about. There's no, spontaneous nonsense. He always thinks thoroughly about it. And a question I asked Brian, I said, Brian, would you be prepared to offer a photo shoot to up and coming bands, to help produce their album, for the album covers.
Yeah.
So basically, that is going to be available through here at a very substantially reduced rate, especially just for this campaign. Let's just see any more questions here, guys. Okay, Carlos Mode says, got it. Okay, Carlos, you get what we mean. Dalida says, I would love to have a second Brian Griffin book. Oh, well, there we go. Dalida, he's got many books. Fill up your bookshelf. Thank you so much for the clarification. Okay, yes, I think that was needed. Any more questions, guys? We can just take a few more, and then we've got to hang up so Brian can go cook his fish.
Cook my fish.
Have you got a lady coming over? He's just cooking for yourself.
Nobody. I'm on my own. Any ladies free? Please come over tonight.
There you go. Best offer you've
I'm
had.
going to Switzerland in the morning, so.
Are you flying to Switzerland tomorrow? Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Melvin Hardy says, to happen to hold records of Tewkesbury, would love to have and meet and greet. Thank you, Melvin. Conrad says, will you send copies to the band?
If they pay for them, yeah.
That's a good one, yeah. Yeah, Martin, you can have one. I'm not going to pay for it. He's got such a good laugh, has he? Here's another question here. Blue Pearl Girl says, where do we find the crowdfunding link on May? I love your enthusiasm. Let me tell you something. If you're on a live stream now, that means you're a fan of this channel, and I'm grateful to you. It also means that if you can find this live stream, you will find the link. It will be on
everywhere.
It will be everywhere. It will be on Instagram. It will be on Facebook. It will be on YouTube. You will not miss it.
LinkedIn, everywhere.
Yeah, and you will have 30 days. And as we say, the crowdfund is only going to run for 30 days, guys. And once that, it's over. So please help Brian reach his goal. You do have beautiful eyes, Brian. Says,
do I?
Says Star Cradle, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Is that why he hides them? Is that why he? Is that why he doesn't wear his glasses anymore?
I've heard this before.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for that. Very kind of you.
Flattery will get you everywhere. Yeah.
Get you everywhere.
Do you have an idea how many pictures might be in that book? It's quite difficult. It turned out to be a lot more than we thought, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I never took that many photographs of Depeche Mode. Not many, because I don't take any photographs of anything. I do it I don't like scattergun everything, like the shoot blah, 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 everywhere, like a lot of photographers do, and choose the best one. I tend to really think about what I'm doing and do it, just one off. There won't be many. There'll be probably over 100 or something,
Mm-hmm.
Plus, there are, everything else is in the book. like the people who built the sets, the people who styled Only When I Lose. I mean, that's quite a good section. Only When I Lose Myself. That's a section at the end of the book, and you have portraits of the people that worked on all the projects, and also the photographs that Roger Burton took were in the book as well. He was the production designer of Only When I Lose Myself. There are people that were to the side, the stylists, my studio manager, my studio. There's all that other information in the book, not just Depeche Mode, but the people that involved themselves through that whole period of time on the band. For me.
And I'm glad you decided to include that in the book as well, Brian, because I didn't think of that, and that's where you had the foresight to do that.
Yeah.
That's great. A few more questions here. DM asks, was it the band that decided between photos? Brian will elaborate more on that, but as Brian has said on interviews before, obviously Brian would take the photos, and it was between Depeche Mode and, probably not Depeche Mode because they didn't really seem to pay much interest in those days, but definitely Daniel and the record company would decide which image would be used. And it is my opinion, and Brian, we've spoken about this, that when you see all the photos that were available, I sometimes feel that, as iconic as the album covers were, I sometimes feel that there were images that were possibly stronger.
Right.
But of course, you had no say in that, Brian.
No.
It was up to them. So I don't think they necessarily chose the strongest ones, But anyway, it's opinion.
It happens. I mean, because they had their tastes.
It's opinion.
It's not a photographic exhibition. Their album covers they were a sales tool to sell the album.
Exactly.
So they had other motives.
Okay, DM says, was it the band? Okay, no, we've got that one. Dalida asks, will it be available in bookstores? No, Dalida, you can only get it here on the Vaughn George merch store. As I say, we are doing this ourselves. There are no publishers. There are no third parties. When you buy this book, you're supporting Brian, you're supporting my channel, and there are no publishers. This is not a corporate venture. This is you're helping us pay our rent. So yeah, you're supporting a couple of good guys here, if we call ourselves that. Okay, I hope it answers your question. Will there be some unreleased photos? Yes, indeed.
Loads.
I already said loads of. Hey, I thought I'd seen everything, and believe me, this is going to blow your mind. Let's have a look here. Pavel says, regards from Berlin. Thank you, brother. There we go. I was always wondering about the wardrobe questions, like how many copies of a single outfit have to be taken on a tour. Very interesting. Okay, so more of a comment. Very iconic artwork. I always thought Anton Corbijn was behind all the artwork. I stand corrected. Yes, absolutely. Brian did everything up until Black Celebration.
And Only When I Lose Myself.
And this is interesting as well, because with Only When I Lose Myself, when we did that documentary, a lot of people were blown away by the fact that it was you, because they just assumed it was Anton. So that was, and I'm glad that's in the book and clarified. Okay, let's go. I stand corrected, so exclusive. Right, Brian, which album do you prefer? Music? What? Brian, which album do you prefer? Music and sleeves? For me, it's
yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. That was who was that from?
Just called DM.
For DM, you're right.
It's Dave and Martin. They're on there.
Yeah. I like Construction Time Again. Definitely.
Yeah, it's your favourite one, isn't it?
That's my favourite album. It's some great pictures, and it comes to light actually when you look at our book, Vaughn and I's book. Construction Time Again has so many possibilities for a cover, and it's my best piece of total work. I mean, obviously, Broken Frame is an exceptional image, and I can't get away from that. It is, but Construction Time Again was fantastic. As a shoot in Switzerland, incredible.
Okay, Brian, well, I think we've said everything we need to say. You're going to go cook your fish now?
Cook our fish.
Okay.
Yeah, I am, yeah.
I think we've got all the questions answered.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it, guys. So there we go. The crowdfunder for this photographic book entitled Mode, the complete Depeche Mode photograph images book by iconic photographer Mr. Brian Griffin. Crowdfunder starts the beginning of May and runs to the end of May. All information will be here. If you still need more questions answered, then please hit me at info@vorti.com. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. And with that, Brian, we're going to wish everyone a good evening, a good afternoon, and a good day wherever you are. I want to thank you as always from the bottom of my heart for your support in my work, Brian's work. We love you a lot, and we are very grateful to you for being here.
Bye.
Adios. See you guys.